How's it going? Well, so what was the best part of your day? Hanging out with your friends, playing some video games. Yeah, nice. What are you guys playing right now? No, I remember the first time I got a gaming system. I think I was 11 years old. I think somewhere around there. It was a Super Nintendo, and man, I frickin' love that thing. Yeah, it's like the OG Mario Kart. Yeah, it's kind of become cool again, right? Like the OG Mario Kart. That was a great game. I used to play that all the time. There was this random game that I loved playing called Pilot Wings. Yeah, random cut, but I really enjoyed playing that game. Of course, I played a lot of Mario Brothers, but those were the main. I think I played mostly. The most was Pilot Wings and Mario Kart, and then Mario Brothers. Yeah, I remember those the most. But what? Follow-up question. What was the worst part of your day? Some kids were mean. Yeah, man, meanness. Meanness is a weird thing. It's something that you're gonna have to deal with for the rest of your life, unfortunately. It's something that, man, well, there's a phrase, hurt people hurt people. That makes sense. Hurt people hurt people. And what that means is when people are the most injured themselves emotionally, when they are the most, when they feel the worst about themselves, is when they will lash out at others the most, the people that feel the worst about themselves. And it's not really a solace or anything, but it is very important that when somebody is mean to you, that you don't spread it forward, that you can observe the meanness and not take it personally, which is very difficult. It's very, very difficult not to take meanness personally. But know that if they're being cruel to you, and boy, kids can be vicious, and that's always been the case. It was the case when I was a kid, and it'll be the case for your kids. It's the human condition. It's the reason they still teach Shakespeare in school and classics and stuff like that. These ancient themes of bullying and meanness, like they've never gone away. They've been with us forever. Hopefully, we will someday kind of grow out of it. But the best thing you can do is to not take it personally. Know that it's not actually about you, that they're dealing with some kind of meanness in their own lives, either from their parent or something happened to them. They're feeling bad about themselves, and they're dumping it on you. And and as annoying as that is, what's also really true is how your kindness can have a mind-blowing impact. And your kindness can affect people in ways that you may or may not ever see. Did I ever tell you about this one time at Burning Man? Well, yeah, you know, your mom, well, you know, we're going to take you soon. I think it's a neat experience. And this was the very first time that I ever went to Burning Man. This is actually even before I met your mother. So this is back in, actually the year before I met your mom. This is 2014. And it had been a very interesting burn. The first time you go is always the most kind of profound, or let's just say memorable, because it's very strange. It's a very interesting world, the burn. And I had many wonderful and humbling experiences. In fact, so there are two main memories that stick out. The first memory that stuck out was I was trying to show off to somebody. And you know how we have those rings in Santa Monica, and you swing, you love the rings. And so our camp at Burning Man, we recreate that experience. And I remember there was a very pretty girl in the, so we have like a scaffolding, and you can like sit, and there's hammocks, and you can places to lounge and relax. And there was this very pretty girl watching people do the rings, and I was, you know, pretty fit at the time, and I was a pretty good ringer. And I got up there and was gonna do a little showing off. And so I started doing the rings, and I was doing pretty good. And when you get to that last ring on the end, I really liked, and I was pretty good at it. I like doing a little swirly swirl. So I'd get on one ring and like really get a good spin going, and kind of like, you know, like a corkscrew in the end, and then catch the ring on the way back. You know, my little flashy move. And I had somehow mistimed it a little bit, and as I was coming back, instead of just catching the ring coming back, it wrapped around the ring. So the ring wrapped around the ring. And what this caused was, it caused for the rings to jerk all of a sudden. And when I was holding on, like, my right hand, and or maybe it was both hands. I think like maybe both hands at once. I have a picture of it somewhere I can show you. Maybe it was both hands actually. And I got like jerked off the rings, okay, like hard. And I felt my hands like slip, and I was like, oh no, oh no. And I looked at my hands, and both of my calluses on both hands had gone like from flap. They flapped up, and it was just like, so I went to the medical tent, and they took care of me, and they wrapped me up and everything. But that was my first lesson of that burn, which was trying to show off, young man, led to a disaster. Me trying to be impressive, me trying to show off and be the cool guy, led to me not being able to swing on the rings for the rest of that burn. So that was lesson number one. Interesting takeaway, interesting lesson. And the second lesson I learned a little later, and that was at the end of the burn. This is after the man had burned. I was out with some friends around the camp, some friends with the camp, like 8 or 10 of us, I forget. And we were riding around Playa and having a good time, just looking at art, you know. It was probably midnight, 1 a.m. And we're, like I said, riding around, and there's all this interactive art you can play with, and, you know, be a part of. And there was this one kind of like a little mini stage, kind of looked like a big rectangle raised up like a foot off the ground, 6 inches off the ground. And there were all these hanging pieces of like plastic. And the theory was you could like touch the plastic and it would like light up and be like bong, like music. You know, you tap the plastic and bong. Unfortunately, the power was out and the exhibit wasn't working. So our camp's just kind of wandering around tapping things and nothing's really happening. And we were probably about ready to move on when another group of people showed up. And must have been like 8 or 9 of them as well. And they were kind of puttering around the art installation as well and looking at things. And I must have just been in a really open and expressive mood. I felt pretty bold for some reason. And I could tell something, and I don't know what exactly inspired this, but I said to a young lady, I said, "Hey, what's your name? I'm Jeremiah. Let's try something. You stand in the middle, and all of us, hey, everybody, gather up. Everybody gather around, okay? Swing City, gather around." So we all gathered up, and her friends did. And I said, okay, who knows this person? And I forget her name. Let's call her Amy. Like, who knows Amy? And her friends, of course, all raised their hand. I'm like, okay, awesome. I was like, okay. If you know Amy, say something that you love about Amy, that's awesome about Amy. And they immediately were like, oh my gosh, you don't even know how awesome Amy is. Amy is the sweetest, like, most kind, loving, generous person. And she's beautiful and funny and smart. Like her friends were so kind to her. And she's like surrounded by all these people, and like the warm middle was kind of a chilly night. And basically people were just beaming love at her. Just beaming love. And she got like kind of misty-eyed, you know. I was like, oh my God. And then at the end I said, okay, now everybody come in, everybody give Amy a huge big hug. So everybody came in, and we just gave a big warm hug, and we all just beamed love at Amy. You know, it was just this warmth, and it was awesome. And then I was like, okay, Amy, you pick somebody. Who's in the middle next? And then she picked out her friend, said, okay, you get in the middle. Okay, let's do it. And we repeated this thing like, I don't know, 5 or 6 times with different people in the middle. And each time it was just beautiful. I mean, it was just a neat, loving, spontaneous, completely spontaneous act of kindness in the middle of nowhere, this random art exhibit in the middle of the playa, okay? And after that, we all kind of moved on. I was like, that was really cool. That was really special. Everybody hugged. Everybody had it was like, what a neat, wonderful moment. And we went on with the rest of our burn, never to be seen again. All right. Well, the next year, that summer, so Burning Man happens at the end of August. So the next year, it must have been in like June or something. I was down at the rings, and I was standing in line, as one does, to do the rings. And a girl walks up to me and she goes, "Oh my God, it's you." And I'm like, hi. She's like, "Last year at Burning Man, you caused the most profound experience of mine. Like, you changed my life." And I was like, when? She's like, at that art exhibit in the middle, when you had me stand in the middle and all my friends around me, I had no idea how much they loved me and cared about me. And I've never been the same since. Like, that completely shifted my perspective Like, that was one of the most profound moments of my entire life. Just getting misty talking about it, and my point is that when we're kind, when you spread love and joy in a simple act of kindness, you never know how it's going to be received. You don't know how it may completely change somebody's life. And I didn't, honestly, I didn't even remember her face. Vaguely maybe. But she remembered me. And that's the thing. It's like I had no idea that I had that kind of a profound effect on somebody. And I know that you've had that effect on people before. I know that you have. It's who you are. You're a beautiful, loving, caring, strong, dynamic human who you change the molecules when you walk into the room. You know, the way you carry yourself is beautiful to see. I'm very proud of you. Your mother and me are so, oh my gosh, you have no idea how proud of you we are. And I'm proud that you didn't react horribly negatively to that person today. Like, I know it's an icky feeling, when somebody's mean like that. And people can be so mean. Humans, boy, we can be so mean to each other. We can break that cycle. We don't have to spread the meanness. We can instead flip it and choose to spread kindness and love and joy. And who knows the effect that your kindness will have on somebody else. Maybe you'll change somebody else's life. I'm sure you already have, for the better. And there's somebody out there going, man, I remember this time I met this person and I was having a horrible day. I was having a bad day. And they were so nice to me. And it's completely changed my perspective. I'm sure you've done that. And I'm sure you will continue to do that. Okay? Alright. But I love you very much. Hamoosh. So moosh. Hamoosh. I love you so much. I love you I love you so much. And of course, I'm very, very proud of you. Okay. And I want a little bit of sleepy fingers. I want some sleepy fingers to go to bed too. Okay. Okay, we'll do a little sleepy fingers. Alright. Close your eyes. And tomorrow, it's going to be a beautiful day. And who knows? Maybe if you're kind to that person, it may just blow their mind so much that they're nice back. I don't know. Maybe not. But if they're not, don't worry about it. Okay? Okay. Sleepy fingers. sleepy fingers.